Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about using congruence and similarity criteria for triangles to solve problems and to prove relationships in geometric figures. Let's get started. So letter A says triangles IJK and TUV are similar. The lengths of the sides of IJK are 40, 50, and 24. The length of the longest side of TUV is 275. What is the perimeter of TUV? Now, I know congruent means that the figures are the exact same shape and the exact same size, but similar figures mean that my pictures are the same shape, but not necessarily the exact same size. So I'm going to start by drawing two pictures here. So two different triangles, one that's smaller, one that's larger. Doesn't matter which one I do. And I'm going to make sure that whatever kind of triangle I draw here, that I draw the same shape for my other one as well, because I want to make sure that they are similar, right? So same shape, different size. So my first triangle is IJK, and whatever order I did this triangle, and I need to name these triangles in the same order, so TUV. Okay, the lengths of the sides of IJK are 40, 50, and 24. Doesn't really matter which way I put them, but again, it has to be the same order. So 40, 50, 24. And I went left, right, bottom, so I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Actually, no, I'm not, because now it says the length of the longest side of TUV is 275. So I need to find the longest side here, and it should match up with the longest side on this triangle. So the longest side here is my 50. So 275 should match up and be in the same position as my longest side over here. And now we're going to figure out the other two side lengths so that we could figure out what the perimeter is. Now, I'm just going to put a letter A here, a lowercase a, because that's what I'm going to try to solve for first. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to create proportions or different fractions to try to solve for my unknown variables. So I'm going to take my big number and divide by my smaller one. And it doesn't matter what order you go in as long as you keep the order the same. So I'm going to take 275 and divide it by 50, right? Because these are the two that are in the same position. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my other numbers. And so now I know that A is in the same position on the other triangle as 40. So I'm going to do A divided by 40, and then I'm going to cross multiply as though this was just a regular proportion problem. So 50 times A is 50A equals 275 times 40 is 11,000. And then to get the A all by itself, I divide both sides by 50. So I get my value of A is 220. So this length from T to V is 220. Okay, and then I've got one more to do, so I know what to figure out this side. I'm gonna put a little letter B here. And now I'm gonna do the same thing. I know that this one's 275 and the one that's matching over here is in 50, so I'm gonna use those same two numbers again. And then I'm now going to match up B with the only other side I haven't used yet, which is 24. So B over 24. And then again, it's a proportion, and I'm just going to solve. So 50 times B is 50B. 275 times 24 is 6,600. And I'm going to divide both sides by 50. I get that my B value is 132. So now the last step is to find the perimeter of TUV. So I'm just going to add up all three of the sides together to get my perimeter. So my perimeter is 220 plus 275 plus 132. So if I add all those together, my perimeter of triangle TUV is 627 units. I don't know what the units are, so I'm just gonna put units. And that's my final answer. Okay, next one. Miss Damaso runs trails in the park. She normally runs one complete lap around trail ABCD, which is over here. The length of each side of trail ABCD is shown in meters in the diagram below. If trail EFGH over here is similar in shape to trail ABCD, what is the minimum distance to the nearest whole meter Miss Tommaso would have to run to complete 1 lap around trail EFGH? Now, this sounds like a crazy question, but essentially it's the exact same question that we did above. We want to match up the pieces that are in corresponding places, and then I want to figure out what these 3 unknown side lengths are so that I can add them all together and find my perimeter. So the first thing I need to do is figure out which pieces match up here. And they give you the order EFGH for the first one, and then they tell you trail ABCD. That means point E and point A, or angle E and angle A, should be corresponding. So I'm going to put 1 arc mark on both of them to show that they should be in the same position. They're similar. F is my second letter, so I'm going to put 2 on F. And my second letter over here is B, so I can see that F corresponds with angle B. Angle G, I'm going to put 3 on, matches up with angle C. 1, 2, 3. And then angle H and angle D. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a great tactic because now I can kind of see which pieces match up. So the first thing that I want to do is make a proportion, and I'm going to do my big one divided by my small one, just like I did above for the last question, but it doesn't matter what order you go in as long as you keep it the same. So I'm going to do big divided by small every time that I make my proportion. So I see my first number here is 100. And then I need to find the one that matches up with the 100 over here. Now I see that the 100 is in between the 2 that have 3 and 4 arc marks. So I come over here. The one that's between 3 and 4 arc marks is the 90 degrees. So 100 and 90 match up. And then I'm going to solve for one of the side lengths, and it doesn't necessarily matter which one I do first, but I'm going to do the one on top, and I'm just going to label this as an A so that I can solve for it a little bit easier. So A is between 2 and 3, so the one that matches up between 2 and, ooh, I marked that wrong. 2 and 3 should be this one over here, which is 47 degrees. So that should only be, oh no, I did put 3. I'm just like having a moment right now. Okay, so it's A over 47. Just like above, I cross multiply. So 90 times A is 90A. 100 times 47 is 4,700. And I divide both of them by 90 to get the A by itself. And I get 52.22222 repeating. So I'm just going to put 52.2. Okay, that's my first one up here. 52.2. Okay, great. Now I've got this piece and this piece. So now I'm going to match up another one. So I'm going to use another color here. I'm going to put a letter B over here. I'm still going to use my 190 because that's still the same fraction each time. I'm still taking the big divided by small, and that's always given to me, so I'm always going to use 190. It's the 2 other numbers that I'm going to change. So B goes between the 1 and 2 arcs, so between the 1 and 2 arcs I have 45. So it's B over 45. And again, I cross multiply. So 90 times B is 90B. 100 times 45 is 4,500. Divide both sides by 90. I get B equals 50. So now I've got this number over here is 50. Okay, last one that I'm gonna solve for. Put a C down here. Okay, and obviously this one's between 1 and 4, so it's the last one that's left over here. So this one is gonna match up with the 100. So the last step is I'm gonna do again, keep my 190 together, because they're in the same position. And then on the left, my big one is this C that I just wrote. And then over here, it matches up with the 100. Again, I cross multiply, so 100 times 100 is 10,000. 90 times C is 90C. Divide both sides by 90 to get the C value by itself. 1, 2, 3. And I get 111.111 repeating. 0.1 repeating. Okay, so now I have all three of my side lengths there, and I actually already had this one over here. So the last step is to the nearest whole meter, Mr. Master would have to run how much to complete one lap around trail EFGH. So essentially all I'm going to do now is just add up all of my side lengths together to get the perimeter. So I'm going to do 50 plus 52.2 plus 100 plus 111.1. And when I add all those numbers together, I get that EFGH is 313.3. But since it asked me to round to the nearest whole meter, this number is this number is less than a 5. So because it's less than a 5, I'm just going to keep it where it is. So it's going to just be 313 as my final answer. So you might see boxes like this where you have to physically type into the online program on your test. And so if you do, make sure you start from the left and then do not put anything in the boxes that you don't need. They will sometimes give you extra boxes. Do not use them. Do not touch them. Do nothing to them. Do not put decimals. Do not put zeros. Just leave them blank if you don't need them. 99% of the time, they're going to give you too many boxes. So if you don't need it, you don't have to use it. Okay, so now you can stop the video and go onto Canvas and do your congruence and similarity practice quiz.